Oh, that joke only makes sense if you've seen the movie. I don't know if that was worth the joke or not, but it would, like I said, it would only make sense if you've seen the movie. Smile 2, Parker Finn returns because, well, we have another smiling demon in our midst. So how is it? So let's talk about the categories and give it a score. First, let's talk about the acting. Now, I did say in the Smile review that I thought the acting was very teeter-tottery. Some of it was really good, some of it was really bad and cringy. This film totally course corrects it all and is very good. Of course, it is going to be carried on the back of Naomi Scott, who plays this pop star phenom, Sky Riley, and she has just returned from an absence, and well, with the smile monster looming, well, you might be having another absence very soon. You also have Rosemary DeWitt, who plays the mother of Sky Riley, and yeah, she's pretty good. I'm not going to say she was horrible or cringy. About halfway through, I was going to say, yeah, she's definitely on the cringy side of things, but then as things progressed, as the story kept on moving forward, I came to understand what her character's motives are, even though that's what was kind of plastered at the beginning, but I hope that there was more to her, and there kind of was. There's a huge reveal scene towards the end of the movie, and I'm not going to get into spoilers, and she kind of lays it all out, and it's very impactful. Then you have Dylan Galua, who I hope I'm pronouncing that last name. Sorry if I butchered it. And she plays the former best friend of Sky Riley, and yeah, she's pretty phenomenal too. Now, there's tons of other actors that are in this film that do a great job as well. You also do have Kyle Gallner returning from the first movie, but not for very long. That's not really a spoiler. He was in the trailer, and his fate was also determined in the trailer. I'm glad that he returned, and we kind of got that story completely wrapped up, and we saw what his intentions were after the first film. One thing that actually surprised me the most is Ray Nicholson, who of course is the son of Jack Nicholson, and he was in their marketing everywhere, right? And he is an integral part of the whole entire story, an integral piece of it. But he isn't in the film as much as you probably think he is compared to how often he's in any marketing material. So that surprised me just a little bit. I would like to say this. Naomi Scott put on one of the best performances of the year. It is so brilliant. The way she works through trauma with her character, the way she works through addiction with her character, the way she works through every part of this entire movie is absolutely brilliant. When you are having a film that affects one person in particular during 99% of the movie, you have to make it count. And they did, and they hit a grand slam, because I'm going to give it a full star in the acting category. Now on to the visuals. The visuals of the first film, to me, was high praise. Like, I gave it a lot of high praise. I said how beautiful it was shot. The active camera that they offered within that movie was so brilliant, and it wasn't truly unique, of course, because those are shots that have been done elsewhere, but the kind of mishmash of all of these different shots that all kind of made a beautiful, fluid movie for it returns in this one. Now, at sometimes there isn't really the whole aura of, wow, this is new, this is great, we don't usually see it in these types of movies. Well, we saw it in Smile, so it's not groundbreaking or earth-shattering. And that's fine and all, because of course you can replicate the same thing because it is a sequel to a movie, so you can have the same look and aesthetic. So I'm not going to really kind of knock credit for that or points off for that, because he did a crazy job this one. He did a crazy job the last movie. So yeah, give him the credit for it. Since it is about a pop star, you do get concert scenes. And of course, this is the second kind of pop star concert movie. Side note, during this year when I was at the movies and they would show trailers, Trap's trailer and this trailer would sometime play. and I would always get confused at the opening because they were both concert pop movies. And I was like, what's going on this year? And there is a kind of a full sequence of the entire concert, or part of the concert, part of a song really, in this film. Overall, it was really good, but I always say but because there is a complaint. The first one, I complained so much about how the final monster looked like, what the smile monster looked like, not wearing people's faces, essentially. It, to me, looked so cheesy and dumb that it took me out of it. And I get it. It's this mythical demon creature. How am I supposed to know what it's supposed to look like, right? Have I seen the smile monster? And if I have, like, does that mean I survived? Or did I not survive and this is purgatory? They do have the reveal of what this one looks like, and it's worse. I hated the look of the demon smile monster, Smiley McGoober, whatever you're gonna call him, Smiley McSmile face. He just, or she, whatever kind of creature it is, it's so bad. I don't know. It really cringed me out, and it took me out from a very impactful moment when this creature comes into play. And yeah, I didn't dig it in the first one. I surely didn't dig it in this one. I was gracious enough to give him a full star in the first one. And I'm not going to be this gracious now, so I can only give it a half a star within this category because of how hideous that thing is. And not hideous like, dang, it's scary. Like, hideous like, it just looked dumb. And now we talk about audio, because just like the visuals, they brought over their composer who did the score for the first one into the second one, and that being Cristobal Tapia de Ver. It's still gut-wrenching. It's still grimy. It's still gross. It's still perfectly horrible. Like, I don't know how to describe my feelings on it, but it gives you that sense of eeriness and fear and trauma all kind of bounced into one singular score. The way he plays up emotions and creates heightened emotions and fear and trauma and kind of brings it and encapsulates it within a scene is just amazing, and just like the first one. I didn't have really any problems with the first one like I did with the visuals the first time around. This one, I don't have any problems. I don't have any issues when a film has a sequel and it brings its team from the previous movie over to the second one. What that does is it creates a consistent narrative and a consistent tone that you set, and it was done very well in this category. So, without all that being said, there wasn't any downgrades. Full star. Also, side note on the audio part of it, Naomi Scott. She's really great at singing. I didn't have to say it, because most people know. But if you didn't know, she's great here. Next, when we come to the story, and holy crap, much better than the first one. And that's talking about consistency, right? Because the first one had a great start to it, and then the end kind of started mashing things. Like I said, I don't think they knew that maybe a sequel was going to be on the horizon, because I didn't think they understood that maybe it would be as successful as it was going to be. But this one doesn't have to exposition dump. It doesn't have to give the viewer much more information, right? The people who are going to go see the film have most likely already seen the first one, and those who are seeing the second one before the first one are going to, I think, have a much better experience watching this one and understanding how this one works. Besides having this long drawn out sequence where it takes them forever to kind of figure out what this monster is, all it takes is one bar visit and it's done. The exposition dumped in a couple minutes, understood, and you get the whole picture. They explain her trauma and the traumatic scenes of where her trauma comes from. Holy crap. They are some of the best acting once that thing happens, because I don't want to spoil it. Holy crap. Naomi Scott's acting in just that scene is so good too. It's uncomfortable and it's so depressing to watch. Overall, the story just also seems more cohesive from start to finish. It seems like there is an end goal, and the end goal is much grander than the first one. This story is just 10 times better, and I'm glad that we're getting these horror sequels that add more lore, add more stakes, and add more just kind of deepness and richness with characters and overall plots, because it's a good time to be a movie fan, a film fan, a horror fan, right? And this film is one of, if not the best horror films of the year. So with story, I'm going to give it a full star. And now we talk about enjoyment, because now enjoyment, we're talking a big change in the rankings towards the end of the year when it comes to where this film will lie based off of what I think about enjoyment. Now, as much as I loved the acting, because the acting is brilliant, as much as I still love the audio, as much as I still love the story, and the story was brilliant and brillianter, smarter, greater, better than the first movie, and the visuals carried over fairly well, and they did the same thing, and it was still just brutal and gory and gross. There are two things that are impacting the score that impact it very severely, and that happens within the last probably minute or two. I get it, right? I enjoyed the movie pretty much 98, 99% through, right? Most of the movie, I sat down, loved every minute of it, and soaked it all up. But there's a part at the end that's not the twist. One, of course, is how Smiley McSmileface, the monster, looks. And two is a decision that, again, is not the twist. I don't want to spoil it, but it's probably not what you're thinking, that I just don't like. But with all that being said, the enjoyment category only gets a half a star. And I say that with such a heavy heart because y'all are at the finish line. And all right. With that all being said, if you're keeping track at home, Smile 1 got a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Smile 2 beats it with a 4-star rating. I think Smile 2 is great.